So last night, JP Morgan loses 7% on their stock. Today, a whopping 10% on the stock. Yes! 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 And I got more good news for you. The rating agency, Fitch. Fitch downgrades JP Morgan Chase. Yes! Yes! Oh. The closing bell brought no relief for JP Morgan Chase on Friday as a major credit rating agency moved to downgrade its debt almost exactly 24 hours after the bank revealed a $2 billion trading loss. Fitch Ratings downgraded both JP Morgan's short-term and long-term debt with the latter falling from A+ to AA-. The bank, the country's largest by assets, was also placed on Ratings Watch negative. Fitch said it views the $2 billion loss as manageable, but added that the magnitude of the loss and ongoing nature of these positions implies a lack of liquidity. No, you don't say. And again, it's probably just JP Morgan, right? There's no way Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citigroup, the club, there's not. It's probably just JP Morgan. No one else got into those same things that JP Morgan did. Oh, but wait a minute. JP Morgan was a too big to fail. Bank of America was a too big to fail. Citigroup was a too big to fail. Wells Fargo, all of them, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All these too big to fails. Because there was a liquidity crisis before. And it hasn't gone away. They've just been given a lot more money to try to shore up some of their problems, which naturally it's not going to, because they're going to continue gambling and gambling and gambling. And not only that, there's no way to safely unwind what they're in. They can't really unsafely unwind these derivatives. The only way out is an implosion of the whole market, which is coming. As Lindsey Williams said, it'll start in Europe first. And what did he say? What was another thing Lindsey Williams just said recently? My elitist friend, Mr. X, has told me to watch the word derivatives. When you hear the word derivatives, that's the key word. And I heard the word derivatives out of the news, mainstream media, not too long ago, just a couple little 2 or 3 times here and there. And then this loss of JP Morgan is 100% tied into the derivatives market. So here we have it. And I read an article today from a mainstream site, I don't remember which one, that even used the word derivatives regarding last night's issue with JP Morgan giving the big phone call to everybody saying, oh, we have a $2 billion loss. Sorry about that. The downgrade is a reaction to news that came via a hastily arranged conference call after the market closed on Thursday when CEO Jamie Dimon revealed that the bank had suffered $2 billion in losses over the past 6 weeks. The unit that suffered the losses is part of the bank's so-called corporate unit and had been making trades designed to hedge against risk. Now, wait a minute. Doesn't JP Morgan short position yellow? Listen, Blythe Masters. Yeah, listen. Didn't you say the other day that you hedge against things in general? Certain markets, you hedge against them, but it's client funds you're hedging, not your own. Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, she said yeah. So let me read that again. The unit that suffered the losses is part of the bank's so-called corporate unit that had been making trades designed to hedge against risk. And in case you're wondering, matter of fact, let me open my email real quick. It seems like everybody who takes over the massive short position seems to fail epically sooner or later, which is very interesting. It really is. Let's see, where do we go here? Where were we at? I've got this. How do bank runs start? Why do they happen so suddenly? And what happens when a too big to fail bank actually fails? These are all questions that will be asked in the days and weeks that follow. Jamie Dimon showed his cards yesterday when he said this, quote, I do not want to remind you that none of this has anything to do with clients. Right. Or I do want to remind you that none of this has to do with clients. Exactly. It took a few days for clients of Lehman Brothers to head for the hills, which ate up their Tier 1 capital almost instantaneously. Leverage is great when you're winning, but it's a real biatch when you're losing. It is clear to many that JP Morgan's losses are just beginning to surface. So how long will it take for their clients to head for the hills, just like Lehman Brothers? Will JP Morgan still be solvent next week? Who knows? I do know one thing, though. Every single holder of the big silver short has gone belly up. It started with Drexel Burnham in the 80s. Then it got passed to AIG. Then it got passed to Bear Stearns. And now it presides at Lehman Brothers, or JP Morgan. If no one takes the torch from JP Morgan, the silver short torch, we will see the end of silver market manipulation very soon. Definitely worth me reading that to you. Very interesting indeed. But all I gotta say is yes! Keep sticking that damn knife and twisting it inside the corpse of the company known as JP Morgan Chase. Man, does this feel good. And man, can I not wait to hear what happens at the end of this month regarding the Bilderberg meeting and what some of the inside sources, who usually are right, there's a couple, 2 different ones that Alex Jones talks about, always get the details of what's going on, what was said, etc. And I can't wait to see if these people are absolutely, not head over heels, in a bad way, head over heels, you could say, about this JP Morgan crisis, the European crisis. I want to know what they're talking about in the Bilderberg meeting. And we'll find out later this month because it is always leaked out. And everything that is said usually takes place. So that's all I got for you. This is just great news. I see this. Now the Fitch downgrades them. Oh. I'm sorry. I missed something. Security and Exchange Commission to open investigation into JP Morgan because of what just happened with their $2 billion loss. Security and Exchange Commission to investigate JP Morgan for any issues. In other words, you weren't supposed to be doing that. You weren't following the guidelines, etc. Naturally, they could have done this a long time ago. But maybe, just maybe, they're in a position now where the regulatory agencies realize, guys, we've looked the other way for a long, long time now. The public is absolutely catching on. Not only that, we had Congress write some bills, legislation lately, to fix some of these problems. We now got position limits that we've been putting off for a long time. Guys, the party's over. We did as long as we could. We hope you enjoyed it. Party's over. That could be how this goes down. We'll see. Don't know.